Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eagle, and welcome back to another episode inside a technological journey. In the last episode, we made some of our biggest progress to date and got our most important machine in the pack, in my opinion, the electric blast furnace. So that's going right now, collecting ourselves some aluminum. We also started our way into getting some oil. So we built ourselves a pump, went out into the wilderness, and got ourselves some oil. But I think I'm going to put that on pause for right now. I think I want to get our power setup upgraded a little more before we go into that. And that's going to be through biodiesel. So we're going to start that setup today. Hopefully we get that going. And if all goes well, hopefully we should have some biodiesel or some generators, some gas generators. I think it's gas generators. Do some gas generators as opposed to the steam. So hopefully we'll have that by the end of this episode and have some upgraded power. So let's go ahead and start doing that. But before we do that, if you guys are liking these series so far, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if this is your first time watching me, go ahead and hit subscribe. It really does help me out, and it lets me know that I should continue working my way through this pack. It has been a very, very fun journey so far. But let's get into it. So firstly, let's check out the clipboard. We've been using this to kind of keep ourselves a little bit more organized so we know exactly what we want to do. So I have some stuff on here that we have done. So let's go ahead and clear these out. The gold chain, that's pretty much done. MV circuits, we are good there. Don't need any too much yet. That will get easier as we go. LV circuit assembler, got that. Mica insulator, got that. Still need to play with the Ender IO farming station. We're going to leave that. EBF is good. Advanced electrolyzer we're going to want to make. That's going to open up so many things for us as we move into the MV age. Solar fluid sampler, we'll just keep that there. That's just for the big drilling plant. But what I want to do is, I think it's ethanol. Start ethanol production. Gas turbines. What else do we want to do? It's all going to require sugarcane setup, so that's going to be kind of part of this. So we can kind of go ahead and look into the quest book here, and down here in the bottom left is kind of where that's going to be, and this is going to tell us right here how we can get the ethanol line set up. So it's saying that we can fully passive the production of ethanol from a sugarcane setup, and that's going to be using SNAD, a drawer, and a block breaker. So I think, let's see if there's a hopper. There is an absorption hopper, so we might want to use that to help us collect the sugarcane that we're going to need. So let's go ahead and get working on this. We're going to need some SNAD. I don't know if I have any sand. I might need to teleport over to the sand area and do that. Also, I finally figured out how to get this drill. I got some help from the official Technological Journey Discord, and they kind of told me that you have to use the precision laser engraver, which we have set up down there now. So I got a lot of the materials for actually additions that help us make all that stuff. So that's handled. The drill's pretty fun. I even put some augments in it. So I got a drill speed 2 augment and a drill mining augment, which allows it to mine into 3x3. So that's pretty cool. So eventually, once we get that fully upgraded, I feel like it might be pretty cool to use, even though we're not going to be doing too much manual mining anymore. That's all going to be handled off camera anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. So firstly, let's get rocking and rolling. We're going to need to get some sand. So let's check the map. I have a sand waypoint. Let's get rid of this death. I did die when I was out exploring. Remove that. Sand. Teleport. Fortunately, it is raining. I feel like it is always raining in this world, but it is what it is. This is kind of this hill I've been mining all our sand from. It's super quick. Good thing about the drill is it doesn't care about the item type or the block type. It will just mine everything equally, except for wood, but that's okay. Not too worried about the wood. But yeah, it can just go through the shovel blocks and the pickaxe blocks. Okay. Now, I don't know how big of a SNAD setup we're going to need. I'm going to start with the 1 and just see if that can keep up with producing ethanol. And obviously, if we need to make more, we can make more. But hopefully this shouldn't be too bad. We're a little bit familiar with how these sugarcane setups have to go. It's just going to be a little bit different. So let's get, we're going to get 8 of the SNAD for right now, just to have it. Then we can put the rest of the sand in chest here. Got glass. Okay, so head back into here. And then we're gonna need the block breaker, which I think I made the recipe for. Block breaker. We need some cobblestone, iron pickaxe. What else do we need? Redstone torch, and then some cobble. All right. There's our block breaker. And lastly, it tells us to make any storage drawer. So we're probably just going to make the basic oak one just for right now, because I think all we're going to get from this is sugarcane. So we just need to have it going into something. Absorption hopper. We're also going to want to get this just in case. I don't know. We have 3 obsidian. We're going to need a hopper. I need my wrench back. I think I have it in my backpack. I sure do. Get this hopper built. And we're going to need an ender eye. We have to make this in the assembler. But we can use one of the blaze rods we have. We just got to find it. Head over to the assembler. We can get ourselves an ender pearl. Okay. Boom. Boom. Does it need a circuit or a... Oh, I can make 6 from 1. Let's do that then. That's going to take 16 seconds to make. I did also do some building a little bit and fixed up the back room. And I think that's where we're going to have the ethanol set up, or the oil production. I think the oil production setup is going to take a lot more space. So I may end up moving that to a different location. So this probably will be for the ethanol over on that side, because I feel like it's going to be in a pretty good centralized location. Let's get that absorption hopper made. Not exactly sure how these move. I guess I could have used an item collector as well. What's different about this? This, I believe it's nice because I can offset I can control more of the direction. So I can show the area that it goes. So I theoretically can move this out of the area. And I think I can... It should be fine. Oh, so you can have it pick up fluids as well. Well, that's pretty cool. Interesting. I think this is a pretty interesting block to use, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let's get going on the SNAD setup. Maybe we should just start with... Let's start with... well, we only have 1 block breaker. Let's do 2, just to be safe, because I do have a feeling we're probably going to need more. And another iron pick. Block breaker. I don't know if these need any kind of signal or power or anything, but it's going to give us a sugar cane. It's going to give us a void upgrade, which is nice. We can put in that drawer, and the redstone conduits and the timer filters. So I think we can, if I remember correctly, if I can get, it should power both of them. So let's get this set up. Let's probably try to put it, let's see. Maybe I can use, okay, so I did build this out, but there is a little bit of a space out here. Maybe I can use that. Let's see. Let's just see how this works. Does it need a redstone? I think it's just gonna function in the same way once it gets the redstone filter. Okay. Let's clear out our inventory a little bit. Clear out our inventory a little bit. This in here, this in here. We're gonna need another sugar cane. 2 block breakers. How do I make the redstone conduit? It just needs red alloy. Let's save that. We should be able to make that. Don't have any red alloy in here. We need the conduit binder, this, and this. Okay, let's see if we can make that. So we need some sand, which we just got. And some gravel. And a little bit of clay. Clay is going to be super important as we go into MV, because we can electrolyze that to get a lot of very important things. Conduit binder. Let's get ourselves some of that. Clay back. Where did the rest of that conduit binder go? in here? Okay. Let's get this smelting. All right. And while that's cooking, let's go ahead and put this sugarcane setup down. I also have an area underneath of this room that we can have for the cables and other stuff. So maybe it would be a good idea if we're gonna have the power set up down here, if we just have all of our machines down here. At least I'll be able to move the items around. So let's get here and here. This is gonna be for the water. This is gonna be for the SNAD. And then we're gonna have to dig out a little bit back here. This is where we're gonna have the conduit, which we're gonna make more of. I don't know if it'll automatically connect to that block. Or do I have to use my Yeta wrench? I think I do. Yep, so that will go in there. We want it to be strong. I don't think it matters. Input output wise. Redstone timer filter. We can keep it on 20 ticks. I don't think it'll be too big of a deal. And then, let's see. Do I have my buckets stored anywhere? Yep, we do. Let's get ourselves some water. All right, 2 buckets of water. I don't know if I have any item conduits on me. Put that here, that here. The sugar cane will go here. I think the block breakers gotta go up here. I think if it ticks, it's gonna get a signal. See what happens if I change the tick rate on this. Is it really this simple? Is it getting that signal from this block as well? It might actually be doing that. Let's put it down to 10. Well, there you go. Well, that's much easier. Cool. So now I can just theoretically, I can box this in. Let's see. Don't want it to go in the water, do I? No, so we'll go. I guess it's not going to matter. Whatever. All right. And then we are going to have this set up in the vacuum hopper. That's going to pick that up. So then we want down to be item. So now it's going to auto output into that chest. Let's put the void upgrade on it. And just like that, we have ourselves our sugarcane setup. And we can, you know, kind of pull the items out from whichever direction we want. But nice and simple, we get ourselves some easy sugarcane. So that's not too bad. That wasn't too bad to make. Now I guess the next step is going to be getting plant balls. I don't think we have to use plant balls, but it is the best way to get biomass. So we got to get ourselves a plant ball, which I know we have a good amount. We probably have enough plant balls just sitting around that we can get this started. I did try to make some plant balls to start. I used these carrots and put them in the compressor. So we should have, yep, we have a little bit of plant balls in here. Unfortunately, they are very, it takes 8 per each plant ball. So not super efficient. I also have a bunch in here. So we've got the plant balls set up. We can get more of that easily. Biomass, we need to get it from, let's see. Biomass, save that. And the recipe is in a brewing machine. Okay. And this is where we can use our plant balls. I think we can use water to give us the best ratio. Saplings are also pretty good. They give you 100. Everything else gives you 20. And I think the biomass gives you 270. So this is definitely the best recipe. So we need a brewing machine that's getting plant balls. That's going to give us our biomass. Now, can we get the plant balls? What's the best way to do it? Fluid extract wood pulp to get creosote. That might be good because I think we can use the creosote. I think we can use the creosote in the creation of the biomass. Centrifuging, we can get a good amount of it. I don't know here. Looks like the compressor might be the best way to do it. It's just very slow. I guess technically I could use the high pressure steam compressor because I'm already gonna have steam for the original power. Just so it's like not super expensive. I'm not worried about power, and I should be able to get everything. We're gonna have a steam turbine down there anyway. It'll just save us some power. It'll just use steam. I think it'll be pretty efficient. So let's get our steam compressor. Put some of these blocks back. All right, let's see here. Let's get another basic gas or a steam turbine. Okay, so that should give us 2. Let's see. We're gonna need some fluid conduits. We do not have enough of those. We're also gonna need some item conduits. Do I have any of those? Okay, I have plenty of those. Fluid conduits, it's a good thing we are making this now. Since we know we don't need to make the redstone conduit, we can make the ender fluid conduits, which we have pressurized fluid conduits and iron nuggets, pulsating iron nuggets. I know we have those somewhere. Pulsating iron nuggets, conduit binder, and then the pressurized fluid conduits, which I know we have some more of. Just gotta find them in the sea of chests. I do also want to get started on Applied Energistics. I'm not super familiar with the mod, really. I never really used it all that much. But anyway, we can get started on that once we get more into MV. I know we had some pressurized fluid conduits. Here they are. Put that back in there. All right, so now we should be able to make some more ender fluid conduits. There you go. Decent amount. Well, I accidentally hit the recording button after making those ender fluid conduits, and I had since set up the basic steam compressor down here, and it didn't really work well for me, so I ended up making a actual electric compressor, which doesn't look like it's getting enough power. I don't know why that is. It might just be super quick. But anyway, we are getting plant balls out of this now, and what we are currently doing is we are going to make ourselves the brewery. So we need the brewery so we can have this go in. We're going to need an endervoir to supply it with water, so that way it can make ourselves the biomass, and then that's going to go into making ourselves a biodiesel. Let's see. Okay, so we want to have, let's put some of this stuff away. Thankfully only missed a little bit, just me crafting some machines. Currently trying to craft the brewery. Needed to get some components for that, so that is what we are currently doing. That could have been way worse. I could have just recorded for a whole hour and missed it all. Good thing I noticed it like 5 minutes after. Okay, let's put the steam pressure back. All right, so we need the brewery. So we need to make a pump, which means we need to make some rotors or some motors. Get the pump made. Okay. Need some more tin cable, which means we need some more string, which we have in here. The amount of tin cables I've gone through is absurd. And then we need a blaze rod, and I may have used all of them in the oh no, I have one. Oh, let's go. Okay, cool. I'm sure we're gonna need more, but there we go. We got our first brewery. Endervoir. Do I have that? Okay, so all we need is a cauldron, which means we need more iron plates, of course. Let's get ourselves some of those. Put these iron rods back. Motor in there. All right, in the lathe they go, or the bending machine. Sodium we're going to be using for the end of this process. I'll explain that when we get there. Also, from that drill quest, we got this quintuple battery, which I use the Ender IO charger that's set up in our gold chain room. Just passively getting power, and I can use that to power this. I think I can also use it to charge this fluxo magnet, which we haven't really been using too much. For no reason other than I just keep forgetting that it exists, but that's okay. Okay, let's get the Reservoir. Glad we made a good amount of this fused quartz. All right, so now we have our Endervoir. We're gonna need 2 buckets of water to fill that bad boy. So Endervoir, we have our distillery, or our brewery. Before we do that, I need a wrench. Wrench. Okay. Okay, output side, brewery, auto item outputs. Now it's getting the plant balls. So now we need to get fluid into this so we can use our Endervoir. We can surely put it over here. Fill it up with some water. Okay, and then now we can take the fluid pipes. Let's make sure this is just set to extract. Put that on here. Turn this to extract. Don't want to extract fluid. Just insert. Just extract. That is the output side, so it's not going to work. Put that there. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's the water. Now we just gotta power it. And this should slowly but surely, over the course of 25 seconds, create ourselves the biomass. Now, the goal is... Oh, that will be a problem. Let's get rid of that. How do I clear this? Okay, so now it's filling with sugarcane. Now the goal of this is that not only is it filling faster than the compressor can compress it, which it probably won't yet, so we may need to add some more, because I think we're going to need to have it in multiple locations. Well, eventually once this thing backs up enough, it will stop feeding it into here, because I'm sure we're going to need some of the sugarcane to go elsewhere. So there we go. We've got our fermented biomass. Our regular biomass. We need a bucket of biomass. We're gonna need... Okay, so for the biodiesel itself, we are gonna be using ethanol. So I can use ethanol and creosote. Is there another recipe for ethanol? Ethanol and powered oil. Ethanol. Okay, so the ethanol is what's used in a distillery to get ourselves the biomass is used to create ourselves the ethanol. So we just need an LV distillery again to get this biomass in, producing ourselves the ethanol. From then, we can take that. We can take the ethanol, and the ethanol will go back into a chemical reactor. So probably going to want to use this creosote oil one, I guess. It seems like the best bet. Huh, okay. Is there an easier way to do this? So maybe it's something to do with canola oil. So we may need to automate the empowered oil. But anyway, we're getting some biomass now. Ferment that into ethanol. Ethanol plus creosote, which I've been kind of collecting. I mean, I have a lot of it in this drum. I might just link up the ethanol creation, or sorry, the creosote setup from in the original part of the base back into this, because it is producing enough. Let's see here. So the next thing we're gonna need is another distillery, or our first distillery, rather. Maybe we don't need to make biodiesel. Maybe ethanol will be sufficient. Let's see. Yeah, so we can use this in a diesel generator by itself to get, it'll burn for half a second-ish to get ourselves 32 EU a tick. So that's not bad. The only problem is, oh, it's only 2 millibuckets every 0.6 seconds. We'll have to see how fast we're creating it, but I'm sure we're going to want to scale this up. How much better is the biodiesel? So it burns for longer. It burns for 1/10 of a second longer. Is this setup really worth it to get 1/10 of a second more? We'll have to play it by ear and see how much we are getting. But let's start with making ourselves a distillery. Distillery. Actually, let me double check here. Ethanol in a distillery. With the biomass. Needs a whole bucket of it to create 600 millibuckets. I'm just going to need an integrated circuit as well, which we do have one on hand somewhere right here. Okay, so we might need to get another blaze rod. So let me go into the nether real quick and handle some of those bad boys. Still need to get looting on this sword. I just don't like making books. Okay, blaze teleport. Let these bad boys come into play. Let these guys spawn. Come on, fellas. Does this make it faster? Let's assume that it does. Unlucky. Unlucky. Come on now, don't make me wait around for too long. Unbelievable. 0 for 3? 0 for 3 is crazy. Don't be rude, we just need one. This will be the guy. 0 for 4. Okay, this is getting unbelievable. This is getting ridiculous now. Because we're going to need a lot more for ender chests and ender fluid tanks. Because I think we just used our last one for this steam. I could hook up 2 more so I don't have to route the ethanol or the creosote manually. I could just have it going into an ender tank. That might be the play, actually, so I don't have to run underneath the base. Wow, that took way too long to get one. Well, if I need to get more, I won't make you guys wait around. I am going to murder this guy, though. Come on. Come on. Dodge. Dodge. Oh, my. You had no chance. Why would he drop one? That makes no sense. Alright. Head back to the portal. Actually, we can just do /home. Alright, and then we can make ourselves the distillery. Need another pump. And another machine casing. Okay, there we have our distillery. Now we can see how fast this thing can really go. I could change the tick rate on the snat as well. That's also an option I have. Because this is going to back up quick. Let's see about that, actually. Go this way? Oh, no. Can I really not get there? Whatever. It's fine for now. Okay, so now we want to put this up here. This should get the fluid auto output into here. We're going to need to turn our integrated circuit to 0, I believe. Put that in there. And then if we can get this thing powered, should be creating ourselves our ethanol. Okay. Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. I might end up making a pretty big tank array. I mean, I guess I could hook it up to a super tank, just so it's constantly producing, even if we're not using it. And then have that go into a ender fluid tank. So, looks like the bottleneck right now is the brewery, which is totally okay. Once this thing backs up, sugarcane will start backing up into the drawer. So we're not really limited by that. This is producing much faster than the brewery can keep up with, but that's okay. So at two millibuckets a tick, it'll grab 40 per second. So 40 per second, you know, divide 3,000 by 40. That's how many seconds we could burn this ethanol in our basic steam turbines. So we've got that automated. I think eventually we might turn it into biodiesel just for that little extra boost using the creosote. Because I think it's just one more machine. The only difference about that is we will need, I think it's sodium hydroxide. Yeah, sodium hydroxide dust, which is not hard to get. I actually made 3 stacks of the large dust, so this would actually last a long time. But to make the actual dust itself, what was I doing? I was chemical reacting water and sodium. So that's what I was doing to get the sodium hydroxide that we have, because it produces a decent amount. And the only thing we needed to really get in there was sodium, which we can get in a lot of different ways. So it's not too bad, but we had a good amount of it. That would have lasted us for a long time, I believe. The amount that I had. I mean, it would have created, 10 stacks of that dust that we need. So I think we can just let this thing go. It looks like it's able to stay powered. Everything's fine. Looks like we can just let that rock and roll. Thankfully, the sounds of this aren't nearly as bad as the one on Nomi Factory. But now we have ethanol. So now we can realistically pump straight from this distillery into our diesel generators. And then play around with that power. Or we can put this into a fluid tank and have that routed anywhere we want. So, not too bad. It's pretty slow, but I think once we get a backup of it, it won't be that bad. We're just limited by this 25 or 26 second craft. So, not too bad. That was not bad at all. Let's check this off. Ethanol production, we are good. We could get our first gas turbine built, but I don't really see a use for it just yet, because I was really just doing it to make ourselves the oil setup, really. So give me a second, I will be back, and then I'll kind of figure out where I want to go, but I'm leaning towards this MV machine casing, which probably will require us to go into the oil chemistry. So give me 1 second. Okay, and after a little bit of time and some machine crafting, here's what we came up with. I have all the machines ready. I just need to get the proper circuits in there so they know what to make. Okay, so it's set up next to our ethanol setup, although it's not connected. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I have a super tank just right there with all of our light oil in it pumping into this distillery. So this will turn it into the sulfuric naphtha, That sulfuric naphtha will go into this chemical reactor along with the hydrogen that we are stealing from our electrolyzer over in the gold chain. So that'll actually probably help us out a lot in getting more oxygen fed back in, because it will not back up quite as often, hopefully. So with the hydrogen and the sulfuric naphtha, we're going to get the regular naphtha. Then the naphtha is going to go into this chemical reactor. And this is where we're going to need that saltpeter dust and niter dust. That's going to create us our polycaprolactam. And we're going to get a byproduct of tiny pile of potassium dust. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do to deal with that. We may just need to kind of manually do it for the time being, but that will create us our polycaprolactam. Gotten better at saying it. Still not good, but we're getting there. I'm not going to worry about the diesel for right now. We can go into that at some point. The setup might be able to double as a diesel setup once we get that ready, but we're working down this left side here to get ourselves these copper cables, and that's going to help us make our MV machine holes and so on and so forth, get our electrolyzer. This is going to be the bulk of what we got to get going on here. Okay, so we started off with the sulfuric naphtha. The rewards for this quest can be used to desulfurize oil at a lower quantity, which is useful when you don't have an abundance like now. Okay, so I guess I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that. Is there a recipe for it in... Let's see. Yeah, so this just is another way to make the actual naphtha. Maybe this is easy to automate. Maybe that's why they're doing it. I'm not sure. But I can just use a circuit to do the same thing. So I'm not sure exactly what that's for. So let's get ourselves the naphtha. So we need to get the circuits. So we're going to need one for this one. We're going to need one for this one. And then this chemical reactor will get the sulfuric naphtha. This one I don't believe needs a circuit. So we need two program circuits. Two program circuits. I don't know what their channels are. I think one of them was 0. They might both be 0. But boom, boom. We're going to need to make some more primitive circuits as well, because we're still going to need MV circuits to make our electrolyzer and so on and so forth. But let's go ahead and turn these on. Okay. I don't think this is using too much power. So for the light oil and the sulfuric naphtha, we need this on configuration 2. Let's use this one, configuration 2. Put that in here. That's going to create ourselves sulfuric naphtha. Okay, and that should be going into here with the hydrogen. And with configuration 0, it should create our... It should create our regular naphtha. Sulfuric naphtha and hydrogen. Configuration 0. Why is this not working? Hydrogen, sulfuric naphtha. Hydrogen, sulfuric naphtha, and an integrated circuit. Why is this not working? Does it take a lot more? Oh, it needs 12,000 millibuckets of it for it to create its first one. Okay, so we got to wait for this to get to 12,000. Just one more craft, and we should try to make it. Okay, so now it's going to craft ourselves the regular naphtha. And we do get a byproduct of hydrogen sulfide as well, which we can use an electrolyzer, I believe, to get ourselves sulfur and more hydrogen back. So we can just get sulfur out of this. So then naphtha needs to go into this. We need to output. Auto fluid output. No, we don't want the hydrogen sulfide in here. Okay. So we may need to use a fluid pipe out the back of this thing. And another fluid filter. So we may need another fluid filter just to filter out just the naphtha that we need. Okay, so let's get another fluid filter. So that got us our naphtha. I feel like as long as there's naphtha in it, it won't try to do it, but we'll probably still want to do that at some point. But for right now, we can just have it automatically put just the one in, which is nice. I think it was just because it was the first thing to go in there. Okay, so now the naphtha, and we go get our saltpeter, which I think I went to the nether and got some ores for. And it should be in the pulverizer. Or no, I have it in the centrifuge now, getting us all the stuff we need, hopefully. So we have niter dust. We have plenty of saltpeter. And I think we can use this niter in an electrolyzer to get us more saltpeter. So let's do that. Where's our electrolyzer at? I can't remember. Right here. Okay. Let's put ourselves some niter dust in. We can just let that go for right now. I don't know how much of this we're actually going to need. We have a good amount. So then we just take our saltpeter and put it into that last chem reactor. Okay. And with the chem reactor and the saltpeter, over the course of 32 seconds, it should be getting ourselves. It's running low on power, which I did add another steam turbine, but I just think everything seems to be running at the same time, which is the issue. This is building up. It's because we have so much oil. Okay, so we've got our naphtha, and this should be making ourselves our polycaprolactam. Cool, so we can select that quest as well. Feel free to batch this for now. You'll get renewable polyethylene for cables soon. Okay, so this is just a precursor until we get polyethylene, which should be easier to make. Because we are going to be making ethanol and stuff, so it shouldn't be too bad. I accidentally broke this basic distiller when I was making this and voided like 8,000 ethanol, but thankfully I'm getting it for free, so I'm not super worried about it. It's just the time of it. Okay, so we are getting ourselves polycaprolactam, and from this is where we want to get into the foils. And to make the foils, we need to get the sheets. And to get the sheets, we need to get the ingots. And to get the ingots, we need to get the pulp. And the pulp we can get from pulverizing. Well, let's see. Maybe there's a better way to do this. Let's see. They're in fluid form. I might need to use a fluid solidifier to get this. Okay, yeah. So I can use the polycaprolactam in fluid form with a ingot mold and the fluid solidifier and get ourselves the ingots. I can also use it. I can also do it in the alloy smelter. Oh, I need the ingot mold. So we need to get an ingot mold. I think I have some. I don't know if I made an ingot mold. We need to do that. I know I have a ball, a plate. Let's see. Okay, well, let's make that first. So we need a ingot mold. Okay, it's going to require this and the ingot mold. There we go. We're also going to need to get a tank to transport it, which we can use the steel tank for right now. I don't know if there's an aluminum one. Let's check. No, stainless steel is the next one we get, which is okay. We're not too far away from that. All right. Grab ourselves our first polycaprolactam. Take that into our solidifier over here. Hopefully make ourselves some first ingots. All right. Fluid solidifier. Take out that mold. Put in the ingot mold. Put in the polycaprolactam. And we're going to get ourselves some ingots. Oh, very nice. Cool. So there's 36 of that. Now we just got to make the... We're going to get 32 more. That's even nicer. 32 more. So we need to make these into plates. We can make the plates in the metal bender from these. Plates in the metal bender. Oh, that's speedy. No complaints here. Okay. There we go, 36. And then now we can put them in the cluster mill. If I'm correct, yes. We can put the plates in the cluster mill to get ourselves some foils. Huge. Okay, so there we go. We got a good amount of those. We can collect ourselves some more of those ingots. May as well just put those in the metal bender for the bending machine. Electrolyzer refill. Grab the saltpeter. Okay. May as well get some more. We're going to need them. But the reason we want to get the polycaprolactam foils is this is how we're going to make ourselves copper cables, which we need to put in the assembler. So we're going to need another integrated circuit on 24 with copper wire to get ourselves a 1x copper wire. So that's not too bad. So let's grab ourselves some copper wires. I think we should have some in here. Yep, we got a whole stack of them bad boys. Okay. We're also going to need another integrated circuit. Can't forget that. Grab ourselves one of those bad boys. Integrated circuit. Put that on 24. And then in the assembler, hopefully, we'll get ourselves our first copper cable. All right, so circuit, wire, polycaprolactam. We're going to need 4 stacks of it to make a whole stack of this. Let's go. All right. There's our first copper cable. First MV tier cable. Cool. So now we can start working towards our MV machine casing. Let's see here. It's just going to require some aluminum, which thankfully we have been letting that go the entire time. We should have a good amount of aluminum being made. We're going to make a whole stack of it. I don't know if I need an MV one, but we're about to see. Oh, over here. This gold chain, I gotta say, is becoming a lot more useful than I thought it would, just from getting the byproducts of some gases like nitrogen and stuff. I did have the nitrogen set up into this EBF. It didn't do anything really for the aluminum. I didn't know if it was just for specific recipes, and it looks like it is. So I'll probably end up getting rid of this for now, but we were using some of the nitrogen from over there and pumping it into here. But it didn't matter. It wasn't doing anything special, so this is still going nice and smoothly. We got ourselves a good amount of aluminum. We're going to need lots more, obviously. But that should get easier to obtain as we get more into the MV age. So let's go ahead and put this aluminum down into the metal bender. All right. That's going to help make ourselves our first MV machine casing. And then our MV machine hull, what's that going to require? Wrought iron plates and aluminum. Okay, so we're going to need more wrought iron. Is there an easier way to make wrought iron than what I'm doing currently? Just smelting wrought iron dust? Alloy smelter? Blast furnace? Ilmenite dust? Okay. So it looks like we just need to make the hot metal, which we can make the hot metal. Now, I know for a fact you can do it somewhere else. Let's double check that. Wrought iron. Got to be a better way to go about this. Crafting it in. Or maybe I need to be looking at the hot metal. Maybe there's a better way to create the hot metal. Primitive alloy smelter. Yeah, so we need the hot iron ingots. Is there a better way to make the hot iron ingots? Just smelting iron. No big deal. Okay. Got a lot of different things happening. Extra copper in there. Let's grab some hot metal or some iron. We're going to need a little bit more iron. We're slowly running down our supply, but we have a lot of ingots and stuff that we can process, or a lot of ores that we can process at some point to get more. So, not too worried about that. It's going to take some time for me processing that off episode here. So, 64 of these. Let's go ahead and put them into the oven. And we're going to speed this bad boy up with my time in a bottle. There we go. We're getting a good amount of this hot iron. Start putting that into the alloy smelter. And we're going to begin to get ourselves, hopefully, some wrought iron ingots. Cool. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'm going to take this out. Put that on this one. This one should be done. Cook up some wrought iron quicker. Let's get a stack of it. Cool. And we're going to want to put this in here as well. We've got our aluminum plates. Continue to make more saltpeter. That should be fine for right now. So let's make ourselves the MV machine casing. We're going to make the MV machine hole. So MV machine casing, boom, MV machine hole, also completed. Cool. Now we can collect that, gives us some aluminum for our troubles. And I think the first thing we're going to want to get, let's see here. Advanced chemical reactors, not super important, but that's going to help us get our polyethylene, which is going to go into the circuit production for the end of this, but we're not ready for that quite yet. That's all going to come once we get better power. So I think what we want to do first is make the advanced electrolyzer. Doesn't look too bad. We're just going to need some more circuits. Let's see. Advanced electrolyzer. Need some silver wire and some more primitive assemblies, which we can make 2 of, thankfully. Now we just need some silver wire. Should have some silver ingots somewhere in here. Okay. Just make half a stack of those. And we just need 4 for this. We'll let the other ones craft on up there. All right, so now we can get our advanced electrolyzer. And we have officially made our first MV machine. Very, very cool. Very nice. This opens up so many recipes that are going to be very helpful for us. So let's go ahead and do this. It's going to give us some ruby and some pyrolusite. And that's going to help us get towards chrome and stainless steel. And that's going to help get us into the next age. Okay. So we're doing pretty well right now. The electrolyzer. So let me think about the power situation and how that's going to work. I think I can I use a transformer? They have transformers. Let's see. We want the. So we're gonna want this medium voltage transformer. We're gonna need transform up 4 amps of LV into 1 amp of MV. It uses, yeah, this one uses 1 amp of MV. So we'll probably need to make a low voltage transformer if we need to use this before we upgrade our power setup. But the thing I want to try, gas turbine. I think we should try to get this advanced gas turbine. This should be what we should try to go for. Just purely because it's going to create ourselves that 1 amp. And this is going to be the next thing that we're going to want to upgrade to. Eventually, we can switch out all of our steam turbines for the gas turbines, handle our LV setup. But I think for right now, the plan is going to be getting an advanced gas turbine, which is just going to need more bronze, more MV circuits, some motors, which don't look too crazy. We're just going to need a lot more copper, magnetic steel. That's fine. Nothing's too crazy to craft here. But give me a second to check the quest book and do a little research and see what we're going to do here. Okay, and after a little bit of research, I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to stop here for today. We got a lot accomplished, and we are firmly in the medium voltage age now, so we can just go crazy in creating ourselves as many circuits and as many MV machines as possible, and we can really get into the nitty-gritty of this age. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you liked the video and watched to this point, please hit the like button. And like I said, if it's just your first time watching me, go back. We got a lot of technological journey content and some other packs as well. But if this is your first time, please hit the subscribe button. It really does help me a lot and motivates me to continue. But that's where I'm going to leave you guys off. It's been Eagle. Peace.